how's it going, everybody? It's Clint from Clint Steel Survival, starting the torture test on this knife. Today we're going to be using the SCHF32. I used it a little bit last night, so it is not brand new. And then this morning I've already been betoning wood with it, but I figure I better get it on camera. So far so good, no problem with it. But torture test number one that I've already had claims that these knives can't do is beton wood. So it'll go cross grain with the grain. Let's see if we can get some small ones. And now you've got processed firewood. Alright, this will be the fire starting portion of this stress test. I've got a cotton ball dipped in wax and accelerant, I'm sure, and it came out of my Frog Tax Gear Sanctuary fire kit. This thing is awesome. I love it. Thank you, Josh. I also owe Josh a shout out while I'm out here, so I better remember to do that. So we're going to use the SCHF32, of course, and my old trusty ferro rod. We're going to see if we can just start a fire on this. So, ball is in your court, Josh. I know that this knife will strike a ferro rod, so I hope that these are a one-option fire starter. That would be great. Let's see if I can get this on a tripod. Bit precarious, but we'll see how that goes. You guys see? I hope so. Let's move this about right there. Get some shavings on there to help out. Oh, I saw a flame, and then I went and put it out like usual. it got very hot, but let's see what a regular cotton ball does. If we can get that going, it'll probably light the bottom. I see it on fire. Can you guys see that? Maybe I wasn't using the filled ones properly, but you can never go wrong starting a fire with a cotton ball. I'll have to get with Josh on the day I get back and see what I did wrong. I'll post this video and ask for his feedback. There we go. Now the bottom's starting to spark real good. Now there's some flames. If I couldn't get it with this fire or cotton ball, I definitely have some fat wood in here. I'm sure we could have got lit pretty quick. So far, 2 tests down, this Schrade is still kicking ass. As hard as this wind's blowing, that fire's not going out. Those are great fire options. Alright, I'll cut this video there and just watch it smolder out. Alright guys, I just gotta add one more thing to this segment. It's been 10 straight minutes now of this thing being lit, and look how bad it's windy, and you can still see flames on it. As soon as I flipped it over, after it got real black and was really low flames, it burst right back into life. That coated cotton ball is one of the coolest fire starting methods I've ever seen, so whatever's on there, dude, that is impressive. So even if I couldn't get it straight started, putting a regular one on top started it super quick, and this made it last. I guarantee this is going to go for another 5 minutes. So I just really wanted to add how impressed I am with this fire starting method, Josh. You kicked its ass, man. This will be the intro for the Bushcraft abilities of this knife. I'm going to turn this piece you see right here into a spoon. So stay tuned. I'm going to use nothing but this knife and maybe some rocks. We have some really porous lava rocks around here. I might use a sandpaper, and then I'm going to fire it to get rid of all the little shavings. So stay tuned. That will be soon a spoon. So I will give you an update as soon as it's done. And here it is, guys, the spoon that knife made. The only thing I used other than that knife was I used a lighter to singe off some of the pieces inside that were rough. I don't know what to call them. They were just like loose in there, but they were attached at one point. If you burn them, you just rub them off. But there's the spoon. Nice ergonomic handle. And if the spoon looks crappy to you, it's not because the knife is crappy. It is because the Bushcrafter has never made a spoon before. So here's my first spoon. Pretty exciting. Now, I want to prove to you that this spoon works. I'm actually going to fire treat it tonight during our campfire, but got this water bottle here. The wind would stop blowing it. There you go. No wet spots on the underside, so it's going to be a solid spoon. I thinned out the sides to make sure you could be able to scoop things out of a plate into the spoon, but it's also pretty deep. You know, it's that deep. So, I don't know. It's my first spoon I've ever made. So far we know that you can process firewood with this by batoning. You can, let me pull it out so I can fondle it some more. Okay, so you can baton with it. You can light fires off the back of it. It's got a 90-degree spine. All you need is a ferro rod, which you could easily attach to any of the eyelets on this sheath that came with it. I've used it for cutting rope and or paracord anyway. It'll Bushcraft, make a spoon. I started processing that walking stick with it right there, but so far so good. 3 out of 3 challenges passed. Now I think it's time to start getting meaner to it, so the next couple of videos might be painful to watch if you're a knife guy like me, so stay tuned. Alright everybody, time to wrap up this video. I almost said series. I'm going to just do it in one video. It's fair to you guys that way. That way people that wanted to see it can see it, and you don't have to wait for a couple days for me to post all the videos. So what did we learn about this knife? $22.95. I learned since I posted the first video at the time that included shipping. You get this knife, Schrade SCHF32. Great knife. We learned from test 1 that it can process wood. It batons quite well. Test 2 showed us that the back of the spine is great for striker. We also learned that Josh at Frog Tax is awesome at his fire starting cotton balls and coated cotton balls. And then test 3, we saw it do some bushcraft. So those right there are the 3 main things that I think I would need in a survival knife. We didn't do game processing because I didn't go hunting anything. I could have gone for jackrabbits if I wanted to, but it was just nice to hang around camp and not, you know, worry. Plus, we had a lot of wood to process and keeping the women folk happy and entertained. So yeah, let's take a final look at where we're at with it. I busted off the tip. Test number 4 showed us that if you're a jack wagon with this knife, or being a complete idiot with it like I was, trying to purposely break it because I wanted to show how hard it was to break, it broke, if you see, at the thinnest part of the blade, and only from where it was stuck in the wood down broke off. So what this shows us is that I had this buried all the way up to this rubber part, and I was wrenching on it, I was hitting it, you can see it in the video. Nothing was happening to this knife. Stuck the tip in, broke it right off. Are you ever going to be doing that with a survival knife? I sure hope not, because even, you know, expensive knives, like if you took this Benchmade out, $120 more than this knife right here, and did the same thing, it's going to break too. This knife did not fail. It failed because I made it fail. But if you see, if I had kept this hole. Beautiful coating rubs on the blade. The Schrade logos got darkened from striking it. Some wood still on it. But let's test this blade real quick, just for fun. This is untouched. Oh well, it's still sharp enough to cut paper. Cutting wood it would still do just fine with, or anything like that. But this knife is killer. If you have $22.95 and can find this in stock somewhere, go buy it. I have no complaints. The sheath held up wonderfully. It took some abuse too. I carry most larger knives on the back of my belt, and I stick the sheath in my right back pocket and then just pull the knife in and out from there. So this gets some tension on it setting. You know, I have this completely wrapped, and then with a gloved hand I did this to pull the knife out, and it pulled all the paracord off. That was pretty funny. That was my paracord wrap's fault, not at all that it's sheath's fault. I only had it wrapped in the top. I didn't have it wrapped near the bottom, so it just slid right off, and the only thing attached was this. Yeah, that's all I can say about this. Go buy this. If Blade Ops gets it back in stock like they said they were going to, go support them. If not, you can probably find it anywhere else, but you might be paying a little bit more for it. This is still a great knife. I found no problems with it until I wanted to look for a problem with it. And what happened to this knife would happen to any knife that I was treating the same way. I was being an idiot with it, and the purpose was to show it break, but I wanted to show how far I could push it before it did break. Now I'm out $23, but I'm going to go buy another one. That's all there is to it. This was too nice of a knife not to have one. Thanks guys for watching this series. I'm sure it's going to be long when I put it all together, but I appreciate you watching.